Judging by the last video, it appears that hot takes gets you guys real riled up. So let's ask the question, are reverb pedals stupid? Damn, am I really doing this? Am I dipping my toes back into negative zone? Jeez. Hey, I'm Danny. As a future YouTube supervillain, I don't like being told what to do. I joke about it all the time, but it's totally true. And making commitments and plans is your past self telling your future self what to do. Gah, that's awful. I'm going on vacation next week and I've made very little plans, and I plan on keeping it that way. Now, if you're like me and you're swimming down that river of creative journey juices, you probably do it all yourself. So I have to write, perform, record, mix, master, film, all the stuff and shenanigans involved with sharing my creative output to you. And the scary part for me is that each of these roles are making commitments to their future selves. It's awful. Decisions your performer self makes affects the recording engineer, decisions they make affect the next, and the performer side of me loves reverb and delay pedals. They're fun, they sound great, there's so many different types of them, there's some crazy stuff out there. And everybody knows that showing them off on Instagram gets you straight into the cool guy zone. Not to mention, reverbs and delay pedals help me write riffs, they help me write songs like this. Hey, that sounds pretty good, right? Well, 99% of the time, what I'm actually recording is this. Let me explain. When you're mixing music, you're adjusting a very delicate relationship between frequencies in a 2D space. And in a stereo mix, there's a lot of competition between all the different instrumentation, and everybody's fighting. Everybody's kung fu fighting. Delays and reverbs change the way we perceive space in the mix. A really dry sound can sound very present and in your face, and a really wet, reverberant sound can sound really, really far back and really, really huge as a result. Which is why guitarists love using them. It's a huge difference and sounds impressive. The problem is you can craft your dream guitar sounds, but if you're cranking those reverb and delay pedals, once they're recorded, you're done. The feeling of space is locked into the track that you just recorded. As Grandpa would say, it's committed to tape. And when you or someone goes to mix that track, it's gonna make their job way harder. Listen to this. Mixing affect everything. Little moves can change a lot. And you may make decisions during the mixing stage that requires a drier guitar part. And if you're like me, it takes a lot to get a good performance. So if you have to go back and re-record it, you could have lost the magic by then. Heck, I can't even remember what I played at the time, so I always record with the reverbs and delays off. Here's the thing. When it comes to performance, feel is everything. You don't mess with the performance. I've been known to forget lyrics if my pedals are in the wrong spot on my pedal board. If you or the performer is used to the gear they've carefully curated, don't mess with that. It may affect their performance. Especially if you're using USB interfaces and plugins that introduce latency to their playing. Ew. And remember that gear not only affects the sound, but also the feel. A really sluggish, thick fuzz or playing with tons of gain will totally change the performance. If the performer needs to have that comfort of their verbs and delays, use a splitter just before them and send the signal to another amp so they can hear themselves. I tend to record anything that isn't time-based, so overdrives, distortions, modulation pedals, anything that affects the articulation of your instrument. Now you're probably thinking, this is a slippery slope. Why not just record dry guitar sound and use all plugins? And a lot of people do that. Those people are called masochists. If you like doing it that way, more power to you, but you're a sicko. Making it work. So we've established that you probably shouldn't record your guitar with your reverb and delay pedals on. But you're saying, Papa, I paid good money for these pedals and I'm super mad at you. I want to hear them on my tracks. Well, my little baby bird, why don't I chew up a little bit of knowledge for you and spit it in your mouth? Oh my God, what was that? If you want to record with your delays and reverb pedals or any signal chain at all, reamping is the solution to get the best of both worlds. By reamping your signal after you've recorded all the other instruments, you can hear it in the context of the mixing process later on. You route the recorded track from an output of your interface through the setup you want to record and back into the interface. This is a very common practice, and it's very common to take your dry guitar sound and reamp it through an entirely different rigs. Studios do this all the time because often they have a really big collection of gear and they want to spend the day finding out which gear works the best for the situation that they're in. Now reamping is very cool, but also I'm very lazy. I find reamping to be a little bit tedious. And since I might be making adjustments all the way through the mixing process, because let's be honest, I'm an amateur mixer at best, rather than reamping, 99% of the time, I'm using plugins for delay and reverb. I'm so sorry. It's just so much faster and you can run things like track automation. Delay and reverb pedals with MIDI can do track automation, but it's way easier if you're in the box to set that stuff up. Now playing live or just jamming with yourself, it's a completely different animal. Delay away, my friends.
Let's have a little nighty. Let's go to bed, buddy.
So no, I don't hate reverbs and delays. In fact, I love them. The title of this video and the likely shocked face on the thumbnail was this YouTube supervillain tricking you into clicking on this video. And if you've lasted this long through the video, you may as well just subscribe and get it over with. So 3 helpful tips to get the most out of recording with reverbs and delays. Use reverb to experiment with space in the mixing stage. It can be a very powerful tool to get a different feeling from a track. When in doubt, record a dry path that doesn't have your reverb and delay pedals in the signal chain. And last, if you're already recording something and you're super happy with the results, forget everything I said. Record that. Don't mess with success. I think it's really important to finish things. Don't let anything get in the way of that. It doesn't matter if you plan on releasing your music to anyone but yourself. If you can put a little bow on it and call it finished, it allows you to begin the final step of the creation process, which is looking back and learning how you can do better on the next one. So yeah, I'd love for you to disagree with any of this. Prove me wrong. Do you record your delays and reverbs? Is there a delay or reverb missing from my collection I have to experience, that I have to record? Suggest something. I love buying stuff. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. See you on the next one.